Before we get into the tour, I kind of make up a backstory for when I play RPGs that helps me get into the game. So I'm going to kind of explain the state of the Commonwealth in my own head for the construction of all my settlements. If you have no interest in this, feel free to skip ahead. I'm going to mark the chapters in the description. So firstly, this is a Institute playthrough, so it's kind of a bit dystopian. The Institute is the current ruling faction of the Commonwealth. The war between the Institute and the Minutemen ends with the Minutemen ceding Sanctuary Hills to the Institute in exchange for the Institute releasing Minutemen political prisoners from Starlight Prison. The Institute establishes their capital city in Sanctuary Hills, with the Minutemen moving to Finch Farm to establish their own capital. The Minutemen is currently at peace with every other faction in the Commonwealth. However, the Institute and the Brotherhood of Steel are both in an open state of warfare. All other independent governments in the Commonwealth are forced to post that they are neutral territories. Any attempts to attack, coerce, or bring them under the folds of any of the other governments will be seen as an act of warfare against the other two governments. Alright, so here is the outside of the tower. As you can see, it glitches a little bit. I'll get into that in a minute. The glitching is only when viewed from the outside. The tower took around 2 years to build. It was originally a solid wood structure. Decided I didn't like it, and I had just gotten mods, so I actually tore down and rebuilt it level by level, or floor by floor, until I replaced the entire thing. So I had built a tower on this site in my previous playthrough. This is my fourth and final playthrough of the game, because I did all 4 endings. The previous one I did Railroad. That one is where I really started building, and I did a lot of settlement building on the Railroad. However, I did not have any mods whatsoever, so everything I built in the Railroad playthrough was vanilla game. I might do some tours of those later on. Over here's the original farmhouse, and then right here is a second tower that I wanted to build, kind of like a stratosphere or space needle type thing. Those were all lights going up. Took about 10 hours in game to build that. And then I learned that building that completely destabilized the game. And I'll get into that again in a minute. And you can still see some of the effects when you look at this tower from the side. For some reason, it's really only the side that's affected by it. So this 4-floor thing right here, those were all 4 floors of reactors. And that was just to power the lights on the structure here. For comparison, I built up Sanctuary Hills. That only takes 1 reactor. This building, I have 3 reactors in it, but it really only needs 2 reactors. And I built an entire, I made all of Spectacle Island a city, and that only took 2 reactors. So just the lights for this required 4 reactors. I'm in the process of dismantling this tower, which is taking longer than it took to actually build it. I'm going to dismantle it floor by floor to make the game more stable. I may keep this structure, replace all the reactors in it because I don't need them. Probably replace all the reactors with soil for like more plants and crops, so it'll be like a 4-floor like greenhouse, I guess, if you will. And then getting into this, so the issue here is that in most cases, like Starlight, which is an open air prison, and so I covered all of Spectacle Island basically. It's my biggest settlement, but the tower actually took longer. It took about 100 hours to do Spectacle Island. I'm estimating between 150 to 200 hours to build this tower. So Spectacle Island, the castle, all other settlements will load as their own instance. So when you load into Grey Garden or into Sunshine Tidings, which is my manufacturing facility, it just loads that. However, because these are so close together, Sanctuary, which I have built up Red Rocket, which I did a little bit of building, but not a whole lot. And obviously Abernathy, which I did a lot of building in. All three of these will load as the same instance. So it has string building here, and Sanctuary will put a string on Abernathy and vice versa. So building this tower here would have been fine if this loaded into a single instance, but because it loads those other two settlements in together, it was just too much for the game to handle. So I, unfortunately, after 10 hours of just working the skeleton of this tower, I have to dismantle it. I already took off the top of it. I did use this design as the centerpiece of the next settlement I built after this, which was at County Crossing. However, you not every settlement has the same build height. So for example, Sanctuary, the build height is only 5 stories. Which here, this has the highest build height, which is why I always build my towers at this location. So this has a build height of about 20.5 floors. So I cap off at floor 20 up here. So I bring that up because County Crossing has a much lower build height, and so the tower isn't nearly as tall there, which is kind of a shame. So we'll go in. The way I did this is surrounded on all sides by powered turrets for protection. So the way I did this is I actually designed it from the top floor down. So what actually took me the longest was trying to figure out what to do with the bottom 4 floors. I already knew I wanted a 2-floor lobby, like entranceway, because that's kind of a standard thing for skyscrapers. The atrium will be 2 floors. And then I had to figure out what floor 3 and floor 4 were, and that actually took the longest part of building this building. So here I did not admittedly do much with the lobby, the atrium, whatever you want to call it. There's some benches going around with trees in it. Didn't know what else to do here. I thought having shops would kind of take away from the feeling of it. But there is a lot of open space that I kind of don't like. But I also wanted to move on after spending about 2 years on this project. So you got welcome signs. It says hotel registration is on level 15. Minutemen, Brotherhood of Steel, and Institute Embassies are on level 18. And then, of course, as I explained in the intro, we have the neutral territories. The neutral territory is clearly marked. Information just states that you must obtain a pass or a visa on level 3 to gain access to the rest of the tower. However, the amenities on level 3 are open to all travelers. So we'll go up to level 3. So this is level 3. So this is the visitor services that I mentioned, including restrooms and clean drinking water. There's also a restaurant that is accessible to all travelers. We've got a general store. Back here is just the office for the owner of the store. Go male and female restrooms, go in here. Restrooms, and then we also have clean showers that all of the visitors are able to access. Here at Immigration Room, this is where you're going to go to, it's where you'll go to obtain a pass or a visa to access the tower, or if you want to move into the tower, this is where you do your paperwork. There's a security office right here. So this, I wire all my stuff to actually work in game, even if it's just role playing, it's not actually ever going to be used. This switch right here, if you flip it, will deactivate the turrets on the outside of the building. Tower entrance over here is where you'll show your pass or visa to access the tower. Go up here, it says welcome to Republic of Abernathy. Once again, neutral territory is clearly marked. Now come around here, floor 4. it was kind of a cop-out. I didn't know what I wanted to do with floor 4. So basically I just made it the entranceway to the tower, and then I stuck the apartment property manager here, where you can rent your apartment. Here's the management system for the settlement. And then this is the property manager's apartment, which she does have a larger sized balcony. Coming upstairs, floor 5 is where the apartments start. They're all numbered by floor. So the first, I believe, 3 floors are all going to be these identical smaller sized apartments, complete with window and bathroom. And it's the same deal over here. These ones do not have balconies. Floor 6 is identical. Okay, so it's the bottom 2 floors are the smaller apartments with 8 apartments per floor. Starting on floor 7, we got the larger apartments. There's only 4 per floor on the larger apartments. I can't talk. As you can see, you got a large living room, full kitchen, larger bedroom, storage closet, bathroom, and these ones have balconies, and those, as you can see, go for 2 more floors. So it was backwards from what I thought. I thought I had 3 floors of small apartments, 2 floors of large. I have 2 floors of small apartments, 3 floors of large. So see, same thing on floor 8, and again on floor 9. Now we go to floor 10, so we're halfway up the tower at this point. This is the, in architecture they call this a sky lobby, sky lounge. It's a floor up the tower that has a second lobby, just like at the bottom. So up here we have a restaurant, tables, we got benches around, just like at the bottom. On this side of the tower we got a barber shop. We'll come back to that. Drugstore. And then we got 360 windows. There's Concord over there. That's Sanctuary over there. There's Red Rocket. Unfortunately, because of draw distance, you can't actually see the stuff you've built until you're kind of up close. So Sanctuary is built up pretty big, and I'm going to do another video for that. Then there's downtown Boston over that way. Callahan's is a nightclub, so the entrance is down here from the Sky Lounge. And then you got your dance floor with your strobe lights, your jukebox. And then you also have a bar up here. So now we'll go up to floor 11. So if you recall from where we just came from, there's nothing over here because on the other side of this wall is the inside of Callahan's nightclub. Right here we just have slot machines. There's the office with safes. So floor 12 is where we have our power plants. And I'm trying to recall what's... I think I just sealed this off because I didn't know what to do with this side of the building. I think this is it. So if you do the Chicoba, if you do TCL, it's toggle clip mode, so I can walk through walls. Yep. So this is just all a giant unused room right here. I might come back to that later. But for right now, it's just sealed off because I didn't know what to do with it. So here's the power plant. Like I said, 3 reactors, only 2 are required. There's a backup one. Hole in the building to allow the power cable to go through. Upstairs is the control room for it. Flipping this switch will completely cut off power to the building aside from the emergency lights. So alright, floor 13. On this side is the control room for the reactor. Over here we got our chapels. I'll go down the stairs there. On this side we have the Church of All Faiths, which currently has 3 locations. Spectacle Island, Abernathy Tower, and Sanctuary Hills. 4th one is being built at Finch Farm, which is the Minutemen capital. There's a little office back there for the pastor. There's the pastor. Then, I don't necessarily know how to pronounce that, but this is going to be like a cult type thing. Unfortunately, I was hoping I could put them in like a cloak or robes like in Fallout 1 or 2, but in Fallout 4 this is the closest thing I found. I'm actually planning on building a settlement for the cultists. I want to put it in Mirkwood, in the swamp. I'm going to build a giant cathedral. That's the plan right now anyways. I want them to be kind of like sketch, like a kind of evil cult. Floor 14 on this side we have the hospital. There's the waiting room, doctor's office, surgeon, there's the ER admittance, and then here's the actual like beds for the ER. Then over here we just have like a storage room, storage closet. Across the way we had the police. Here's a cell block. Sheriff's office. It's the police desks. Locker room. Floor 15 is where the hotel starts. So the hotel is the bottom floor of the hotel, and the top floor of the hotel are 6 rooms, and then the middle floors are 12 rooms. So each room is identical. It's like that with a bathroom. The rooms in the middle are the same as the outer rooms, except obviously there's no window. Now if we go over to the hotel registration and we go to the back, we find out that the hotel is a front for a Institute safe room. So we move this bookcase right here. We have a little safe house where an Institute agent can hide out, send requests back, or send messages back to Sanctuary Hills. And this is designed where they can hide out here for an extended period until they can get extracted. It's the same concept of on Spectacle Island in the back of the nightclub. I have an Institute hideout just like that. Floor 16 is the second floor of the hotel, and this one's a full floor, so this one has 12 rooms. 17 is the top floor of the hotel, so like the bottom floor where the registration was, this one only has 6. Floor 18, so if you notice down here this is blocked off, that's because these are 2 floor rooms, so these are the Embassies. This one is the Brotherhood of Steel Embassy. There's the ambassador. The guard normally sits over there. You got your propaganda posters. You go through this room right here and then down the stairs. This is the ambassador's apartment, so he lives in the embassy. I don't know what he's doing there, but their bathroom. Then over here, if you notice, we put the Minutemen between the Brotherhood and the Institute embassies. That's because the Institute and Brotherhood are currently in an open state of warfare. Here's the Minutemen embassy, ambassador, their guard, and then once again they got their apartment down here. And then the Institute, again, the Institute guard, and then the ambassador. So, like all the Institute buildings and embassies and apartments and what have you, this one's different because it's furnished with Institute furniture. And the Institute ambassador's apartment is same way, Institute furniture everywhere. Now, if you notice this is blocked off, there's another room back there that's accessed from a different room. We come up to the top 2 floors. Floor 19 is another, so the top 2 is another atrium, 2-floor atrium that's all glass. Here, this is the government plaza. And that up there is the presidential office, which we'll go into here. You get to the president, you go through the security guard here. The elevator is flanked by 2 guards. Floor 2, so if you notice we're in the middle of the 3-floor elevator here. First we're going to go up 1 floor. This is the president's office. There's the president, Blake Abernathy. Office looking down. It used to be much cooler when we had a fully constructed lit up tower there, but I mean, I get it. The game's 10 years old this year, so it's pretty limited. And then it also overlooks the plaza right there. We're now going to go down a floor from where we were, so we're going to go to the bottom of the elevator here. And here we got the presidential residence. Here's the guard to let the people in and out of the presidential residence, and of course, as always, the switch functions. Then we can close it from here. I have not put anything in any of the display or trophy cases yet. Oh. Real quick, we're going to switch out the core. Pro tip if you play this game, the fusion core that powers the power armor, see how it's about to die, is about to kick out and switch to a new one automatically. If it does that, it disappears completely. So even though it says 0 out of 100 charge, you can sell it for full value as if it had a full charge. So always pop your fusion cores out when they're about to die so that you can resell them. You can see 100 charge, 0 charge, 8 charge. I've never been able to kick it out at exactly 0 charge. That's crazy. One more step and it would have erased it. But see, they're all the same value. So you can sell empty ones for the same amount as a full one. But if you don't take them out before they completely run out, they will just vanish from your inventory. Okay. Over here we got balcony. Living room, kitchen, all that. Big ass bathroom. A little bit of overkill on this, but whatever. Here we got the president's bedroom. Giant storage closet. That's empty right now, but alright, so now we'll check out the other side. And this is where we have like our shops. So here is a clothing store. This is Up and Over Cranburger, which is the Wastelands version of In and Out. It's the Abernathy location. There are currently 2 other locations open in the Commonwealth. We've got one at Spectacle Island and one in Sanctuary Hills, the Institute capital. Currently building a 3rd one in Finch Farm, which is the Minutemen capital, which is the settlement I am currently working on now. So instead of a double-double, it's a twice-twice. Armor store. Weapon store. Now if we go up top, we have an open air top floor with a restaurant called Top of the World Grill. That was a reference to, I had a restaurant in my previous playthrough where I did the railroad that was called I think it was the World's End Grill or End of the World Grill it was on the pier at Kingsport Lighthouse, which I don't believe I have done anything with in this playthrough. Nordhagen Beach is where I have my Institute's re-education center. I'll probably do a video of that. Maybe do one of Starlight Drive-In. I'll for sure do one of Sanctuary Hills. County Crossing, I'll do one for sure. County Crossing is the one I went to after I finished the tower. And then the one I'm working on now is Finch Farm, which is for the Minutemen. Nobody's at Kingsport Lighthouse, so this playthrough I did not do anything with Kingsport. And that is the tower. So I can get rid of this now. So this is where I had the settlement management computer before I built the last few floors and finished the tower. I had stuck it up here just for quick access. It is now, as you saw, in the property manager's office on the 4th floor. So originally this was envisioned as two distinct towers, um, each with their own staircases and everything. However, due to the size of the settlement and how much space it actually takes up to build a full staircase, this is how it turned out. It turned out with what I hoped would be two towers with a staircase in the middle connecting them. Since the staircase takes up so much room, it just kind of ended up being one tower in a odd shape with a staircase in the middle. So, but yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, this took about 150 to 200 hours to build. That's real world hour. Rear can't talk tonight. Real world hours. So if you look on here, on this playthrough, is I named my character Richard Deckard after Blade Runner because I was doing an Institute playthrough. As you can see, I got 21 days, 17 hours, and 23 minutes of playtime on just this character, and the vast majority of that's from settlement building. And yeah, we'll see you all later.